Okay, so back to the bartop by Xcade B19C. As you can see, we've finished the control panel. We've added the T-molding right there. We've had both the joystick attached with the restrictor removed, and we snapped in all the Senwa OBSC 30, and we added the Senwa bubble translucent white ball top. Inside the cabinet, we've attached the Pandora box coming from small cab, as well as all the parts that we've been using in this build. This is the Xcade power supply delivering 5 or 12 volts, and we've also attached the coin plate right there, so we've put the insert right there. So right now the screws are missing, as well as in the control panel, but we'll be adding all of them later on, so no problem. Right now, let's focus on wiring everything. So this is what we're gonna use. It's called a jamma harness. So as you can see, there are a lot of wires right there, which are rather thin, and some right there are slightly bigger wires. And here, as you can see on the 28 pin, we have one slot that is completely empty, and here we have few slots, and here many slots. So what we want is, we want the big wires on this side right there, on the left side of the empty slot when facing the Pandora. So now we're gonna plug this in right there. Okay, so it's ready. So basically now we're gonna clean a little bit this mess and see where we stand with this jamma harness. So first, the most recognizable wires are the big ones, so we're just gonna grab them. And here is how it goes. The red one will be the 5 volt and connected to the 5 volt output of the power supply, and the yellow one is the 12 volt, and it will be wired to the 12 volt output of the power supply, and the black one is the ground. So here we can just put them right there for now, and we know what we want to do with them. So these are a bunch of wires, and the black one are obviously grounds, and the other one we are not going to use them for now, but I know exactly what they are. It's a coin and start, so we're gonna just put them right there, and we'll see them later on. And now here we are looking for this piece right there with 2 white wires. Those 2 white wires, they come for the speakers, and we have a bit of ground too, and we have a coin that is here, so we're just gonna put it right over there as well. We're not gonna need it for now. Okay, so now it's getting a little bit cleaner. We can see where we are, and what we have here is because this Pandora, sometimes you want to plug it directly into an old arcade cabinet, and you will be using a CRT screen, and this is what you're going to use to plug into the main board of your CRT tube. But right now we're not going to use this, so what I'm going to do, in order to clean a little bit inside the cabinet, I'm just going to cut them. So here I want to cut the red that is right there, I want to cut the green, and I want to cut the blue. Here. This white one, I won't be using it either, and this red one, I don't need it either, and this yellow one, orange one, sorry, I'm not gonna use it either. Okay, so now all these wires, I'm not gonna use it on this build, so I'm just removing them to make it more easy. Here, to be able to pull this plug, I'm just gonna have to cut the ground right there, and now it should come all by itself. Right there, we don't need this. Now there's this orange wire that I said I wouldn't be using, so I'm gonna remove it too. Because you know, those jamma harness, they're universal, so sometimes I believe those wires are useful sometimes, but for the build that we are doing right now, they have no purpose, so we're just gonna remove them and have a cleaner build. Okay, so now it's all clean. We can proceed. So come over here, please, my friend. holding the camera. So this bunch of wires here are for one player, and this bunch of wires here are for the second player. It's very easy to recognize them because the daisy chain is only attached to the first player, and this is the daisy chain we're going to work on right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put back the control panel, or yes, we don't have to do it right now, we can do it just like this. So here's how it goes. You always want to wire this first, the daisy chain, to have a clean build. So this is how I do it. I will plug the first one. I always take the bottom left on the first joystick, which is actually the upper left if you put it on the right order. But let's just all put the panel like I'm having it right now, and it's gonna be very easy to wire up. So now it's there. I'm going to the second one here. Now I'm going to the third one. We can go to the fourth one. And now here's just a little trick, is we're not going to start with this button, we're going to start with this one. And this way, we're going to go clockwise and finish right there. And this will be the closest from the button here to the next joystick. So this is some trick you really want to know when you are doing your daisy chain. Otherwise, you might have a little bit of trouble wiring everything. Next. And here we are, the last button. And now, as you can see, we still have two small plugs before going on to the bigger plugs. So we have the choice to use them for the coin and start button, or not to use them. We will see later on with this, but we're not going to use them for now. We need the bigger plugs that go onto the joystick, so we leave them right there. So this gives a bit of space. It really depends on the jamma harness you're going to buy. Some are better than other. Some are well thought and others not, but this one had obviously enough space for you to go from the last button to the next joystick. So that's good news, it's a good quality. The last one right there. And now for this one, it doesn't really matter since we're not going anywhere after all. So we can just plug it anywhere we want. So the daisy chain is all plugged, so as you can see we have plenty of plugs left, and this will help us for the coin and start button and everything like this. So we will proceed with this later on. Now let's keep on going. So this one, which is attached to the daisy chain, this is your joystick number 1. So you just want to make everything clean aside from the daisy chain, and we're gonna start plugging. So now you can just believe me because I've been doing this quite a few times already, and the joystick will always be the full red, orange, green and blue ones right there. So we just pick them, make it clean, and the orange one here. And if you can get a close look, oh, I'm missing the yellow one. Hold on. Here they are. Okay, so as you can see, the full one that I've told you, the yellow, red, orange and green, they have the bigger plugs for the joysticks, and the other one, they have the small plugs. So this is an easy way to make the difference. So now that we have those for the joystick, if you are in the same position as I am right now, you don't have to worry about anything. It will just be the red on the top left corner, and then you have the yellow one that goes right there on the top right corner, and then you have the orange one that goes right there. And you have finally the green one that goes there. And this will be exactly the same for the second joystick. So now that this has been done, we just want to use a bit of those nice little piece here so everything is clean. Right there, and now we're gonna wire the buttons. So it's really an easy wire. Oh, I forgot this one. It's not a big deal. This. Okay, good. So the buttons, it's quite simple actually. It's the same routine. So I've always enjoyed this because it reminds me of like the people from the anti-explosive units in the police. You know, you have to cut the right wire, and so it's always the same. Even if the colors are not the same, it ends up the same story. So it's on this one, it will always be one blue, one purple, and one gray. So usually the grays, this one is on the top right there, and this one is on the bottom. And this brown here, this will be the start button, so we're not going to wire it right now. So we want to separate it from the rest. The brown is always, I mean, on these types of jamma harness, because you can get a different brand and it will not be the same, but this one I've used it in the past, and I know the color code, so it's very easy to wire. I don't have to have the machine powered on to know what goes where. There you go. So the white one will go right there. The red one will come second. So these are actually, it looks like it's the top, but it's actually the bottom. So I'm doing the kick buttons right now. Okay, so this was the strong kick. Now we can separate this from the rest. This way, if you have to come servicing inside the machine, it's going to be very easy because everything is like separated all together by family order.